Right everyone, let's just fly through this. You already know what the video is. It's the part 2, the finale, the sequel to my last 2 hot to handle video. Asked for 20 likes, we hit it. Cheers guys.
No.
So let's go, episode 4. After a series of unfunny jokes from the narrator, more on that later, Old Spice Bryce just starts playing his keyboard and it's dreadful, and he starts singing and it's dreadful, but somehow he pulls Chloe by doing this. So I guess you gotta respect it, I guess. We get a workshop then, where instead of talking to each other about how they currently feel, they have to do it through physical interaction. You know, they hug if they're excited, whatever. It's very stupid. Dave starts crying in an attempt to pull your one, whatever her name is. Alexa then rounds up the gang and gives them all this watch, where if it lights up green, the rules of the retreat, that's right, I found out it's not a villa, it's a retreat. The rules of the retreat no longer apply. So in fact, most of these people don't even have to go a month without sex to win, which is just so dumb. Lion King and that influencer girl, the evil one, they go on a date, and Harry he acts like a bit of a petty bitch, if I'm honest. Genuinely, I was really annoyed by this, because I was hoping that eventually I'd grow to like him. And he does become more likable eventually, but oh my god, he takes his time. But yeah, he just starts chatting bollocks about Lion King behind his back, so in turn Lion King chats about him behind his back. Influencer girl, who's cost everyone all their money because she just keeps getting with people, is so desperate to get with Lion King. But of course, he's not a hypocrite, fair play to the guy, although just about, I don't know how them showering together isn't a real break, but it's not, it seems. So yeah, he doesn't cost them the 3k by kissing. So now, although he's not the brightest spark in the book, to quote Chloe, he's definitely, he has his morals, and he comes across as one of the few likable people in this series. So hats off, not again because dead trim, but hats off to you, Lion King. We get a proper cringe date between Dave and that girl, where they just try and seem deep, but they don't. It's really just not good. It's not even cringe where you're like, oh, but I can't stop watching. I wanted to stop watching. It just wasn't good TV. The influencer then just spouts a load of bollocks about how because Lion King didn't want to get with her the night before, she suddenly had this epiphany that she has feelings for Harry again, and she needs to cut it off with him because for some reason it's because she basically states it because he didn't want to lose money. She cuts it off with him and goes back to Harry. Dave and Sharon have some talk where bro code gets thrown out there because obviously Dave went on a date with Sharon's missus, and Dave opts to not get involved. He doesn't want to be a homewrecker, so he lets them two at it. So Dave adhering to bro code, you love to see it, but at the same time this was very dumb. It seemed very scripted and staged. If it wasn't, no it was. What am I saying if it wasn't? Of course it was. He adheres to bro code, which you gotta respect. It should be the norm, but hey, I guess you have to respect if someone does something good on this show. You can't just expect it from them. God, this show, it gets worse. It gets worse. The episode ends with Sharon announcing that he's gonna let his guard down. Obviously he said earlier he didn't want to, you're one. And their watch lights up, which obviously means the rules no longer apply. They have a kiss on the beach, and then they get sent to the hideaway, the private suite as they call it in this, but they're told they can't do bits. Yeah, I mean, come on. What Of course they did. So episode 5 opens, and it turns out they didn't go the full way, but they did do bits, and yeah, they cost everyone 16k. Lol. They're coming across as the first actual couple on the show, considering this is supposed to be bootleg Love Island, and we're over halfway in, and we've only now just got kind of a couple. Yeah, this is bad. This is a bad show. And as I said earlier, it does get worse. It gets worse from here. It progressively gets worse and worse. Oh, this show, it's terrible. It's so bad. It's so bad. And Hayley, remember her? She just reminds us that she's just a nasty human being. And we finally get the big anticipated clash with all that tension between Lion King and Harry after the two of them were just, chatting shit about each other behind each other's backs, because your one Francesca, the influencer girl thing one, draws a line between the two lads. Yeah, after all this tension, it just turns out that this big clash was just a dick measuring contest where unfortunately Lion King just comes off as a bit of a wanker, which is a shame, because I actually didn't mind him, because he just stoops to Harry's level, and you expect it from Harry because he's immature and he's clearly a bit of a moron, but Lion King, man, come on, I expect better from you. Also, DMT Jesus just hasn't been seen in months. At this point, not seeing the guy in ages. An Irish girl, I'm not joking, she's a write-off for the rest of the show. Like, for the rest of the series, you don't see her. But she's still there, just about. The lads do a workshop, courtesy of Diva the Heart Warrior. That sounds like a wrestling name. Basically, they all just rub mud on each other, have a bit of a cry. Old Spice Bryce lets us know that he's really clever.
I drew a clock, because I'm like a pretty intellectual thinker. I try to think about the future because it's coming.
Does the clock start with a 12 or a 1?
Lads all share what they think their flaws are with each other. To be fair, if they don't change from this point on, you know that they're just spouting bullshit. And the episode ends with a nice bro moment, and then that influencer just tries to pull Harry again. Shock. Episode 6 opens with Harry showing how mature he is for about 10 minutes, saying he doesn't want to break any rules anymore. He wants it to be a genuine thing. He wants them to just tell the truth all the time. And yeah, that reunites the most toxic couple on the show since, well, I guess thing 1 and thing 2. Do they count? I'd say. Yeah, they count. DMT Jesus shifts Alexa, and then Hayley's been kicked off the show. LOL. We get 3 new arrivals in Lydia, Corey, and Madison. That was about it from Madison. See you later. She just pointless on the show. I'm just gonna give you a spoiler. Madison turns out to just be the most pointless contestant ever, and she doesn't even come across as likable. At least the Irish girl's she seems like a nice girl. She's just not as flashy as everyone else in terms of how much time she gets. But Madison doesn't even seem like a nice person. So yeah, that was a waste. Oh, but I'm wrong, because Madison starts flirting with DMT Jesus. Go on, my guys finally got a chance at, yeah, no, that lasts about 10 seconds. And yeah, DMT Jesus, you were that close, so close. And at this point I must add that the narrator is so bad. The narrator is so unfunny. I didn't laugh at a single one of her jokes. Just a terrible show. And even when Love Island's bad, Ian Sterling can salvage the boring episodes or the bad episodes because he's really clever and he's really funny and he's really witty. That's not the case here at all. The narrator actually adds to the terribleness of this show. Even just hearing her speak just makes me angry. It just makes me angry. Harry and Influencer get told that they get the night in the private suite and break all the rules. I'd assume they've broken all the rules in the hideaway. And Chloe ends things with Old Spice Bryce because she wants to get to know Corey. They just kiss instantly, there and then. Still respect you, Chloe. You seem like a nice person, so I seem like a bit of a hypocrite saying that after everyone else, but at least she comes across as a nice person on the show, okay? Not everyone on this is terrible. Chloe's not bad. She's not... I'll pull up at the end my new updated tier list of everyone, but spoiler alert, Chloe doesn't go down any of the rankings. I still think she's a nice person. One of the few. So yeah, Alexa rounds up the gang, lets them know how much they lost that night. Forget everyone else that broke the rules, it doesn't matter. What matters is Harold and your one, the influencer, have cost everyone 20k, and Lion King is not happy. So obviously they did the thing, and yeah, I can't say I was shocked. They've literally already almost gone through half the money. They've 55k left, and the show is like still got 2 more episodes. DMT Jesus announces that he's leaving the show. Nah, you know what? I wasn't sad or anything, don't get me wrong. Irish girl starts crying, like, come on, it's not like he's dead. But I was kind of like, damn, man, you're one of the handful of nice people on this show. They're just slowly but surely either getting, like, the good people are either going away or becoming pricks. And it's just really, really, really annoying to see. The episode ends with Chloe naked on with Corey. I got that wrong earlier. I thought it happened earlier on, but it doesn't. It happened here at the end of the show. I'm assuming in the editing. I'll fix it. Episode 7 opens with stuff I wasn't paying attention at this point. I had to just go out and kick a football for like 20 minutes because I needed a break. It was so shit. I zoned out for the first 10 minutes. I did hear Harry and Corey talk about bro code. I remember that. I don't remember anything else. But eventually what snapped me back in was it turns out that your one's got a kid and she hasn't told Sharon. I'm gonna get it right for the rest of this. She hasn't told Sharon about her kid yet. So get ready for the big dramatic reveal. It's pretty disappointing. It's in no way dramatic or tense, just like the rest of this show. Corey gets to choose who he goes on a date with. And the reason I remember him and Harry talking about bro code is because instead of asking Chloe out, who's like gotten all dressed up for him, he asks that influencer out, who's like with Harry, who he was talking about bro code to. Just a dickhead. Like an absolute snake. For the rest of the series as well, there's 2 more episodes. But like for the rest of this, he's just a bit of a dickhead. He actually makes me feel bad for Harry. Fair play. Like if you're making Harry not seem like the biggest moron out of the lads in the show. And he's not anymore, because this guy's come along. And as I said, Harry does become somewhat more bearable. He does, eventually. He matures, as I think he calls it. An influencer decides to go on this date. She actually had the choice to go or not. She decides to do it, filling that Haley-sized hole on the show after no time at all. But she doesn't get with him, and apparently that's an achievement. And then Chloe calls her out. So big respect to you, Chloe. Like I said, one of the few likable people on the show. Then David gets a back rub off that new girl, Lydia. Fair play to him. You know what? He's been crying out for a back rub since 10 seconds into he's been on the show. I guess good things come to people who wait. And I must stress, I know I called him a sex pest at first, and that was harsh. He's not a bad guy. At the end of this, you have to say, even though he's, again, not the brightest spark in the book, he seems like a decent-ish bloke, except for that time when he abandoned bro code and went for Sharon's girl. But then he stepped aside. I don't know, I'm conflicted on David. He's not a bad person, but he ain't DMT Jesus, is he? No one's gonna fill that DMT Jesus size hole in my life. But yeah, we get a workshop then from the same girls that did a workshop earlier on in the series. Like, come on, could you not have gotten multiple people, like multiple extras on this show? You had to use the same one twice. And it's girls only, and it's talking about girl talk. We're just gonna say, yeah, I think this one was called Vagina Appreciation, and I don't think I'm qualified to talk about this one, so I'm just gonna skip it. Yeah, save myself the awkwardness, thank you. Then your one drops the massive bombshell on Sharon that she has a kid that she hasn't told him about, And he just takes it like a good bloke. He's like, yeah, cool, I don't mind kids. As a matter of fact, I like them. I get on well with them. So yeah, Sharon, whatever. Sharon. Yeah, he's gone up in my estimation slightly. I never thought he was a bad person. I just never thought he was the best. But you know what? He seems like a normal-ish person. David and Lydia cost everyone 3k by sharing a kiss. At this point, 3k means nothing to these people. They're just kissing left, right, and center. Alexa calls out everyone who did bits the previous night. And Harry, for once, tells the truth. You could tell influencer didn't want to say anything. She just kept her mouth shut when they were like, oh my god, who cost us all this money? But Harry announces, he finally tells the truth, way too much of the truth, that, you know, she sucked it. Now it's time for the finale. We find out that even the people on the show have no idea how this is meant to end. You'd swear they were making it up as they went along. Sharon asks Year One to be his girlfriend. She says yeah. Alexa rounds up the gang and says that if Harry and the influencer can go a whole night in the private suite without making any physical contact, they will earn back all the money they lost. At this point, the prize pot was like 40 something grand, so they're well past halfway gone. But if they win, the total goes back up to 75 G's. That's how much money Francesca has cost these people. They actually went the whole night without touching. Fair play. I can't believe I said that. Fair play? Really? Any normal person could do that. Why am I saying fair play? These people are tricking me into thinking that they're making achievements here. It's a month. And this was one night. All you had to do was sleep on the other side of the bed for one night, and you got 75 grand for it. Why am I... God, I'm falling for this trickery, this tomfoolery. God, I hate this show. I hate it. We get a workshop where they all paint nasty things that have been said about each other on their bodies. Alexa then rounds up the gang and kicks Corey and Madison off the show. Good. I didn't like either of them at all. So, yeah, kick them to the curb. Forget about them. They don't deserve to win any money from this show. So, skip a bunch of boring small talk, and it's time for your main event. Who wins Too Hot to Handle? 10 minutes of tense music, and then Francesca and Harry are told to stand up, and then Sharon and Year One get told to stand up, and then everyone gets told to stand up, and then they're told that they all win the money. What a fucking cop-out. I hate this show. How have they tricked us into watching 8 seasons, 8 episodes, into thinking, oh, this will be a winner, oh, best couple, oh, only certain people, we're gonna make a joke out of people, they broke the rules. No, everyone, except for the 3 nasty people on the show. Although there was more than 3 on the show, some of them actually got money from it. I actually hate this show. I hate